The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Welcome back, my dear 6th standard children. So, how are you all? Last week, you would have enjoyed the journey of the pollen grain, isn't it? Yes, we all love journeys. Even though we are restricted now, journey always keeps us refreshing, isn't it? Actually, life is a journey filled with happiness, sorrows, celebrations, lessons, experiences, etc. Isn't it? Even though we experience a lot of hardships on the process of the journey, by the end of the journey, we gain a lot, like friends, knowledge, wisdom, refreshments, isn't it? Journey always keeps us refreshed. So last week, we understood the journey of the pollen grain from the anther to the stigma. So how was the journey? How did it end? Yes, the journey ended in pollination. After pollination, fertilization took place, and after that, ended very beautifully with fruits and vegetables. So did you like the journey? Yes, I am sure you would have loved it. Now, we will see what happens once this flower blooms into fruits. We see many fruits around us. Do you like fruits? Yes, who doesn't love, isn't it? Banana, apple, custard apple, pineapple, jackfruit, our own fruit, isn't it? The fruit of Kerala, isn't it? Yes, we know what are fruits, but now we are going to study, explore more about fruits, okay? So, the first type of fruit is simple fruits. What are simple fruits? You can see that before the formation of fruits, flowers are the one which blossoms, isn't it? A fruit comes out of a flower. If one fruit comes from one flower, then it is a simple fruit. It is very simple, isn't it? One fruit from one flower, then it is a simple fruit. For example, can you tell me a simple fruit? Yes, mango. The fleshy and juicy mango is a simple fruit. Why? Because each flower of the mango turns into one single fruit. And how much seeds are there inside the mango? Only one seed, isn't it? So one more variations are there. In simple fruits, we can find fruits with one seed or many seeds. For example, tomato. Have you seen tomato flowers? Yes. These are tomato flowers, okay? So what happens here? One fruit changes into one tomato. But when you cut a tomato, many seeds are there inside. So what is the difference? These simple fruits are found with one seed and many seeds. For example, mango and tomato. Why is this variation? Yes, by now we can answer easily. Which part of the flower grows into a fruit? Yes, ovary. And which part is changing into seed? Ovule. So ovary turns into fruit and ovule becomes the seed inside the fruit. So if a flower has got more than one ovule, then what happens? The fruit will contain more than one seed. Okay, now you understood? The answer is very simple. Why is mango having one seed and tomato having many seeds? Because the flower, the tomato flower, if you cut and see, you can see many ovules inside one ovary. That is why many seeds are there. Whereas if you observe the flower of a mango, you can see only one ovary, and inside that ovary only one ovule is there. That is why the mango is having only one seed, whereas tomato has many seeds. Both are simple fruits. We have many examples for simple fruits. Mango, tomato, other than that, wheat, rice, dates, these are all examples for simple fruits. Now we will move to the next type of fruit, that is aggregate fruit. Children, what flower is this? This is frangipani flower. Okay, what is frangipani? Chembagapoo. So you can see the cross section of the frangipani flower. Yes, if you observe carefully, you can see many ovaries inside the gynoecium. So what happens here? One flower, many ovaries. So what happens? One flower can produce many fruits. Such fruits are called as aggregate fruits. So some examples of aggregate fruits are custard apple, polyalthia, blackberry. Okay, so you can see the custard apple fruit also here. See, you can see the flower of custard apple here. See, how does it look? It looks different, isn't it? So if you take the cross-sectional view of the flower, that is custard, the flower of custard apple, you can see many ovaries inside the flower. So what happens here? One flower can produce many fruits. Okay, so one flower and many fruits, such fruits are called aggregate fruits. Next we will move to the third type of fruit, that is multiple fruit. Children, can you identify this flower? Yes, this is the flower of jackfruit. How does it grow? If you had observed carefully, you can see the flowers of jackfruit are always seen as inflorescence. What is inflorescence? Kolagalaitana kanuga. Similarly, pineapple also. So what happens here? Many flowers are there, and among these flowers, some are male flowers, some are female flowers. As I have told you already, female flowers will pollinate and thereby fertilize. But what happens to male flowers? There are no chances of fertilization or pollination and thereby fertilization. So what happens here? Some of them turn into fruits, some turn into different parts of the fruits. So in a jackfruit, if you cut a jackfruit, yes, what all things can you see inside the jackfruit? Chakachola is there, many fruits. All these chakacholas or fruits are coming from flowers. Okay, so what are the unfertilized or unpollinated flowers? How do they change? They change into chakachagni. You can see chakachagni inside the fruit, isn't it? In each chakachola you can find a seed. So many chakacholas are there with seeds inside, and surrounded by them are chakachagnis, which are male flowers, okay, unfertilized flowers. So this is what is happening in a multiple fruit, and the entire fruits, all these fruits are covered with a hard coating, okay, one single coating. That is what we see, the hard coating on the surface of the jackfruit. Okay, so jackfruit is a multiple fruit. Similarly, pineapple is also a multiple fruit. So if you see the flowers of pineapple, yes, it can be seen as inflorescence. Inflorescence പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? കൊലകളായിട്ടാണ് കാണുന്നത്. So jackfruit and pineapple, they are multiple fruits, and in multiple fruits flowers are usually seen in inflorescence. Okay, now we will move to the next type of the fruit, which we call as false fruits, and the topic given in your textbook is the disguised. What is the meaning of disguised? ചതിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ, those who are cheating, വേഷം മാറിയിരിക്കുക. Okay, why are fruits called with such a name, the disguised? Why is it called so? Because yes, false fruits, we have false fruits, we have examples for false fruits as, yes, cashew apple and apple. Okay, these are the examples for false fruits. What happens here? Generally in other fruits, what is happening? ovary is changing into fruit and ovule is changing into seed. But in false fruits, what happens? For example, in a cashew apple, okay, what happens? Pedicel is changing into fruit and the ovule is changing into the nut. Okay, the ovule is changing into the seed which is seen outside the cashew apple. So the cashew we generally eat, isn't it? That is actually the ovule of the flower. It is changing into the seed, and the fleshy part of the cashew apple, that is developed from the pedicel. So how about apple? Yes, you can see in apple, the thalamus part of the flower is changing into flesh, and the ovules are seen as small black seeds inside the apple. Okay, so these two are false fruits. Why do we call them false fruits? Because yes, their fleshy parts of the fruits are developed from pedicel and thalamus. That is why we call them as false fruits. So these are the different types of fruits which we see in our everyday life. We have never thought about it, isn't it? Now will you start observing all these fruits? Yes, you can find more about these fruits. And what are the different fruits we studied? Yes, simple fruits. Example, dates, mango, tomato. Okay, now next is aggregate fruits. Okay, so how about aggregate fruits? One flower, many fruits. So what happens here? What are the examples we saw? Yes, custard apple, polyalthia and blackberry, isn't it? Next we saw multiple fruits. Here the flowers usually grow in inflorescence. Some may pollinate and some may not pollinate. The pollinated one turn into fruits and the unpollinated ones become the other parts of the fruits. Okay, so we saw example as jackfruit and pineapple. So these are all multiple fruits. Okay, now after that we discussed about false fruits. So we have a very good example for false fruits, that is cashew apple and apple, where pedicel and thalamus are developing into fruits. So with this we are concluding the chapter. We have two textual questions. We will discuss that and we will conclude the chapter. Okay. The first question is, what inferences can be made about bitter gourd flower? Yes, what are the inferences? It is an unisexual flower and you can see many seeds inside. What does that show to us? Many ovules are there in the bitter gourd flower. So one flower, many ovules. Okay, so this is what we understand from the picture. Now we will move to the second question. Yes, parts like petals, androecium, etc. wither and fall down after fertilization. The pedicel, thalamus and calyx become stronger. Explain the reason. So what is the reason for this? Yes, you can say very easily, isn't it? Pedicel becomes stronger, calyx also becomes stronger after fertilization. So why is it so? Yes, the flower is lighter when compared to the fruit. So once fertilization happens, the flower is going to bloom into fruit or vegetable. So the pedicel, thalamus and calyx should be stronger to hold this fruit. That is why it gets stronger. So only two textual questions are there. Write these questions and write the answers whatever I told you, and apart from that I will be sending notes also to you. So we are concluding the third chapter. Next week I will come with more interesting chapters. Okay, before concluding, let us watch a video which was done by Devadarshan of 6th D. He is a newcomer, and look the way he is presenting whatever he understood from this lesson. Shall we watch?
Hi friends, I am Devadarshan. I am studying in 6th D. Today I am going to explain the parts of the flower. This is the pedicel. This is the part which connects the flower and the plant. This is the thalamus. It holds the flower parts. This is the calyx. It protects the flower when it's a bud. This is the corolla. It may be attractive in some flowers. This is the androecium and gynoecium. This is the androecium. It consists of stamens. Stamen has two parts, the anther, which produce pollen grains, and filament. Next is the gynoecium. It is the female reproductive part of the flower. It consists of three parts, which is stigma, style, and the ovary. You can see here. Now we are going to discuss about unisexual and bisexual flowers. First, we will discuss about bisexual flower. Bisexual flower has both male and female reproductive organs, that is androecium and gynoecium. Example, hibiscus, ixora, etc. Next is unisexual flower. In unisexual flower, the androecium and gynoecium would be in different flowers. Example, pumpkin, bitter gourd, ash gourd, etc. Ovary develops into fruit and ovule into seeds. Next, we will discuss about monoecious and dioecious plants. Monoecious means male and female flowers in same plant. Example, pumpkin, bitter gourd, ash gourd, etc. And dioecious means male and female flowers in different plants. Example, date palm, papaya, etc. Thank you.